Happy Hump Day. If you're counting. If today is hump day for you, I don't know. Maybe you're one of these people who works like 10 days on, 2 days off, 2 weeks straight, no days off ever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Right? And let's be honest, when we get home, it doesn't matter. Even if you were at a job work and you get home, there's still like more work to be done. Work never ends. Right? But this little light of mine. Where did I get these at? I think I got this at my local Joann Fabrics before they decided to go out of business. Like, that was dumb. I don't even sew. And I go into Joann Fabrics at least 3 to 4 times a year to get random things. Craft stuff, candles, little decorative shit they got on sale. Used to go in there all the time because my mom knew how to sew. She used to actually sew my clothes. Hello, how are you? Hey. How am I? Well, I'm wearing my blue one piece here today. and my clogs. So comfort is key, right? Actually, one thing I like about these clogs, because they're that, whatever, plastic material. So if these get too dirty, like these I only wear around the house and like in the yard and stuff. So, but if they get too dirty, then I can just throw them in the shower, and wash them while I'm in the shower. It's clean, looks brand new, right? And all that good stuff. So, what are we gonna get into today? USA, baby. Parminder man, where are you from? Parminder man. Are you a man? Parminder man. Oh boy. I was talking to somebody earlier, and it's always like, you work today? I was like, I work every day. Every day is work for me. Saturday I was emailing a business about work stuff. You know what I mean? It's just, it happens when it happens. All right? Parminder Man says, yes, I am very much man, and right now from India. Yes, I'm in the USA. Mr. India, if you happen to know where Chicago is, I'm in that region of the United States. Well, we like to call it the Midwest. So, not on the East Coast, not on the West Coast. We're right in the middle where all the tornadoes happen. Right? You ever see Wizard of Oz? Yeah, those things literally will come over here and like swipe out a whole neighborhood. Yeah. So. All right. I'm going to get started. What kind of reading you guys want today? Somebody says my family resides in Australia. Parminder, I have been to Australia, to the east coast, to the Gold Coast side there. I've not been to Western Australia, but I have been to the Queensland, Brisbane area, where they have Surfers Paradise over there, which is a fun area actually to walk around. I thought it was very safe also as a tourist. I was there for business, I was there for work, but it felt, you always have to have your wits about you, right, when you're in an area that you don't know, but it was just kind of like a outdoor mall area. Yeah, Parminder says that's a nice place. I have too gone to the Gold Coast. Yeah, I mean, recommend. I would definitely recommend. Great restaurants, All sorts. They say, food is more expensive in Australia, so you have to watch that, for budgeting. But it is a very enjoyable place, and if you happen to know the English language, right? Uh, Australian English is a little bit different than American English and British English, right? And the Brits get on with the Aussies a little bit better. They got that, Queen connection there. Um, but I will say that as far as traveling goes, if you know the English language over there in Australia, you can easily get by. And actually, most folks there, when I was there, thought I was from Canada. And it must be because, where I'm at in the Midwest, they thought I sounded Canadian. Who has been married that many times with 5 children? Who are you talking about there, Joshua Bryant? Yes, it is different, but traveling is amazing. Stony Tim says, with the short hair. Well, I have a good stylist, so she knows how to cut my hair. I actually just got it done the other day, but I rinsed it out today before getting on camera here for you guys, because I don't want to be a stinky monkey appearing on camera all the time, although sometimes that's just how it is when I'm busy doing things and I get the download. Part of the download today that I got earlier today, but I was kind of busy doing some other stuff I had to finish up in the house before getting on here. Part of the message I got today is that the greedy people that were waiting for your downfall, right? Those people are going to be disappointed, right? And you will be very happy to hear that, right? Because that means that they are not getting their greedy downfall wish for you. And instead, you are going to sit back and relax, receive your blessings, and they are going to have to watch you rise. Kind of like on the video games, like all of a sudden it's just like that stack of money keeps growing and growing, and then the person's like sitting on the top. They're gonna have to watch you do that, like build an empire, and they're not gonna be able to do anything about it. Okay, so that was the message I got earlier. So collective, if there was ever a time when you were feeling stuck or incapable, blocked in some way, even energetically, just know that is lifting. Keep doing your manifestations, keep working towards those goals, keep setting your goals, okay? Because yes, the message I got is the greedy folks that didn't want to see you do well are not getting their wish. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and you get to just sit back and be like, oh, okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I gotta do. Even waking up in the morning and starting the day and saying thank you. Thank you for letting me be here today. Okay? I mean, you ever see those award shows, people be like, first off, I gotta thank God, because without him, I would not be here today. Well, yeah, that's kind of basically what we're talking about. That kind of stuff. Because, yeah, there are people out there that for some reason, their goal is to impede your goals. And the message I got this morning is that goal has been denied. Yeah. So they're going to get some other goals to work on, right? And some of them might be goals that are assigned to them in jail or from a judge or by repeating this grade or repeating that exam, or do you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they got to go to summer school because they fucked around too much during whatever it is. You know, the person that thought they were just going to cheat off of you or you were going to do their homework for them, right? You know, a little stealing the lunch money trick. Right? Those bullies' days are over. Because I know a lot of you collective, especially you folks that have, thank you, Perminder, especially the folks that have been harassed, been bullied, whether that be in person, whether that be the keyboard warriors, somebody harassing, stalking you on social media, all of those kinds of things. Back in the day, we didn't have that stuff. You start bullying somebody, and you might just get smacked in the face. So it's kind of like a spiritual smackdown happening now, where you learned your lesson. You listened to your teachers back in the 4th grade that said, stop fighting with so-and-so, because you realized it wasn't going to get you nowhere, right? And instead you focused on what you needed to be doing. All right. So, again, anybody that's just like, if you're just like, oh my God, like, when will it fucking end? Right. Well, let this be your confirmation of that. Okay. Fody, Jacus, are you calling me a witch because you're trying to compliment me, or are you trying to insult me? I can never tell sometimes on these on these little things here. Itai Da says they're from India as well. Hello. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get into the cards. Okay, so just know that in case you don't want to stick around for the cards, that was the overall message. That enemies are falling, they can't do squat about it, and you don't need to check up on them. All you got to do is sit back, right? If you're like, man, I really got to get my 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep, yeah, make sure you get that scheduled in and do it. Because you got stuff to do, right? You got goals to achieve. You have things to do that these people have never even imagined or comprehended for even themselves, right? That's why they're so mad, right? When they look and see you doing it, right? Yeah. Sweet Buster Punk. Who's that? What does that mean? All right, guys. Guys and gals, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get some message cards here for you. It's kind of feeling that way, hump day, so my apologies. Usually I go live. I've been going live recently in the mornings, but I was up fairly late doing stuff too, because with the heat, it's like it's easier to do things at night, and so I wasn't up at the crack of dawn today, you know what I mean? It's like I was sleeping because I was tired. I was trying to get my 7-8 hours in, you know what I mean? Sometimes your schedule might be like that, maybe it's a day off for you where you just need that recharge time. I remember when I worked a job, I had to be there at 6 a.m. and I had an hour commute every day, one way, right? A one-way commute, because I was like literally lived like 50 miles away. So I had to get up like at 4:30, something like that. This was back when I actually drank coffee because it was so early, and I'm like, and I needed to be on the road and driving. Forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, it'll come to me. Oh yeah. So anyway, we used to work we would work 410s there when we were during our slow season. We did 410s, but when it was busy season, it was every day was over 10 hours, and then you had Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, and whatever, however the work was coming in. But yeah, we used to work 410s, and then which was nice. And then Friday, you had to go do your errands and all that kind of stuff, where normally if you were working a regular 9 to 5, you'd be there on a Friday, right? Or you had to take a vacation day, so that was nice, being able to do that stuff. But then there were the days where it was like, I'm just exhausted, right? I didn't want to do anything on Friday, even though I needed to do things on Friday, right? So part of that message, again, is not overworking yourself, because part of the reason you might have been overworking yourself again or because some of the greedy boohooers out there were in your way, right? Getting their hands on things that don't even belong to them. And it's like, oh, okay. So, and that's sometimes what people want you to do, right? They want you to spin those wheels. They want you to do all this running around, all this work for them. What are they going to do for you? You know, some folks are sober out there. That's great. You know, I have not chosen to make alcohol sobriety a part of my life. That doesn't mean that I go and drink at a bar these days either. Very rarely, actually, these days. You know, I did some of that in my 20s and 30s. Whatever. But, you know, now I'm in a different mode of my life. And, you know, what would pay me back to go and repeat that, you know? But, hey, can I still go get a bottle of wine, or I can go get a sixer of this, I can go get a 40 of that, I can go get a tall boy of this, and, you know, sit on my back deck and smoke, and after I vacuum my goddamn house, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Right? You know, it's making those decisions for yourself in a guilt-free manner, where all these greedy people, again, who didn't put any of the work in, want to just take, and they're happy to have you run, and exhaust yourself. Ask yourself how much longer you're going to do that. Ask yourself, how much longer are you going to do that? Or you start giving yourself the worth that these other people obviously see in you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on you like a little succubus. Right? You know? Like that. Jesus. All right. Boots. Yeah, you might be giving them the boot. Boots made for walking. Cool. Kick out the door slam. I do recommend calling the sheriff's department, though, if it is going to be a problem. Because we all know some people just don't like to leave. And part of the reason is because they don't have nothing. Because they would be homeless without you. Because that's the level of effort that they want to put into their life. So, you know, maybe they have some boots to put on to walk out the door. Maybe they're not a cowboy. Maybe they just need to put on them running shoes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kind of like that. All right. Now, continuing on. Right. Oh my. No winner. Yeah. You know, isn't that frustrating for soccer fans? Football, you know, I'm sorry. Football. Europe, you know. Over here in America, we just run our helmets into each other. Ah! Right? But have you ever watched a soccer match? Oh my God. Those guys are dramatic as some of these NBA players. Did they hold up the card yet? I'm not saying anybody's trying to do that to you, collective, but recognize childlike behavior when you see it. Right? Thank you for the likes in the chat, by the way. Okay. So, you know, what do they say? What's that saying? Don't argue with the pig because the pig likes it. Right? Don't go down to their level. Just don't do it. You got other things to do. I was like, this one person online I was talking to, they're like, how long you been on this? And I was like, well, I'm going to get off of it when my subscription's done. He's like, oh, a long time. I was like, well, I'm like, a month. So I figured, like, if I can't connect with anybody in a month on a, you know, one of these subscription things, it's like, what's the point of that? Yeah, crazy. You know, because I put my money on there. It's like, hey, you want to, you know, I was told, now I'm, okay, I don't gamble very much, but I was told, okay, especially on those machines, like to do the max bet. And here's the thing, sometimes that actually works, right? Yeah, you lose money, but it's gambling, right? But when you take the chance how you're supposed to actually take it, oh, I hit the big one, Elizabeth. Think about it. Think about it. So, who's crazy in the situation? Huh? Yeah, what's crazy is somebody thinking you're going to run yourself ragged, right? Well, they sit around and do a whole lot of nothing. You know, there's nothing wrong with the princess treatment after the deck's already swabbed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I mopped, you know, I was saying, I mopped my kitchen floor last night. And then I sat here and smoked a fucking joint. Who you hanging out with? Who's your crew? Who's repping your set? Sorry, Ella, I'm not giving personal readings today, so. And Paul, wouldn't you like to know? Or are you asking that to Ella or Ajay up here? I don't know. Remember to be kind to each other in the chat so you don't get blocked, banned, or otherwise just removed from YouTube. And I mean, I'll never even see it. You know what I mean? So YouTube has some automatic stuff that happens on there where I don't even see some of these comments. So just saying. Look at that, Paul. It's like you're psychic. You ever see that movie with Sharon Stone? Basic Instinct, right? I think Paul made this pop out here, the Sharon Stone. So yeah. Maybe collective, there is somebody out there that that is attracted to you, that you feel attractive around, right? Especially in a dating situation. Stone fox. Also, somebody could have some silver hair if they are a stone fox, like a stone silver fox. Okay. Alrighty then. Yes. Can you hear it there? Sorry, I had to turn my AC a little. It's just still a little muggy in this room. Woo! The heat did break a little bit today, so they say. So I'm just having that mindset, right? You know, but like, hey man, I've been to India. I know what that feels like over there. Because it was like southern region, not in the northern, you know, provinces there where they actually get snow and stuff. This was like hot. You got hot. Paul, I'm trying to keep it cool in here. It says 75 degrees on the, let me see here. I'll do that. It says 75 at the room tent. So that's a lot better than 90, you know? Yeah. Allows me to work out here and get these messages out to you, you know, without disturbing the rest of the house and things that are going on in there. You know what I mean? It's nice to have a little office space, right? You ever see that movie, Office Space? Anybody? I've been channeling and talking about a lot of different movies on the channel recently, so Yeah, Office Space, if you've never seen it, an American classic. Okay? Yeah. This person says, I'm looking for a teammate. Alright, hang on. It's starting to bother me there on the side. Anyhow, yeah. Looking for a teammate. So, yeah, you might have given somebody else the boot, and they were like, hey, sexy, so I feel like, Collective, for some reason, I feel like somebody knows that you're single, and it's like they're gonna come around. And it could be because it's a recent phenomenon, or they heard you broke up with somebody, or something of that nature. Mutation says, give the twins some air to breathe. Do you have twins? Mutation 100? Hang on here. These cards are flying all over the place. This person's saying, can we get away together? And we also have ghosted. So, all right. Yeah, all right. Okay, so... you might be calling this person crazy because you're like, look, maybe they ghosted you in the past, and you're like, what do you mean you want to get together now? What do you mean you want to go to way together? What do you mean you want a teammate? I thought you already found a teammate out there. Okay. Jamal Jackson says, I'll totally do some stuff with you, just saying. What kind of stuff, Jamal? I say watch it, or the message will be held for review. But yeah, I feel like this is definitely on this person's mind. I feel like when they're not with you, they feel like they're not in the winning situation, and they want to be in the winning situation. So, their brain's like, well, we'll just go away together, right? We'll just run away and join the circus, right? So, just preparing you for what this person might say, where you're like, look, you've kind of displayed some crazy behavior in the past, and, when you're in and out, are you a ghost of the forest, bro, or what? Because, yeah. Jamal, are you male or female? Good, Paul. I hope so. That is, part of doing a collective reading is because I'm channeling for you guys as well. Okay? Messages aren't just for me, they're for the collective. Okay? So, somebody's saying they are not in the best mental space. So maybe this could be somebody hanging with a different crew. Maybe the crew they're hanging with, they don't make them feel good about themselves. Have you ever been in that situation? When I first went to college and I got involved with a youth ministry group, and I was really excited to be around these people, but then some of the conversations just turned into like tearing people down, and why do you believe that, and you shouldn't believe that, like you're wrong for believing this, and all these kinds of things. And it's like, well, right? You ever hear that Freud saying, maybe you're not crazy, maybe you're just surrounded by assholes. So, change your crew, change your mentality. Maybe you'll be in a better space. All right? Think about that before you start thinking all these things are wrong with you. Take a look around. Oh, that guy? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, he calls his mom a bitch, but, he lives in her house. I mean, right? Is that the kind of mental space you want to be in? Hanging out with dudes like that, or females like that? It's everybody. It's across the board. Do you know what I'm saying? You're right, Paul. I could use a massage, honestly. I just had one, I think it was last month, and it was very, very nice. The massage therapist did a good job. Hi, Great Bear. Thank you. What a nice compliment. Exactly. Now, family. All right. So, collective, maybe there's somebody in your family that has a star quality like Sharon Stone, maybe somebody that's blonde in your family, maybe your family has blonde hair, dark hair, dark eyes, those kinds of stuff. I'm also getting that movie, the movie Cold Creek Manor, her and Dennis Quaid, where they are a family living somewhere and being harassed by people that used to own the property. So they thought that they could come in there and spook old Sharon Stone and Dennis Quaid. Oh, now we just have to, us city slickers, we're just going to have to run back away to the city. Oh! Well, that didn't work. Didn't work if you watch the movie. I've seen it more than one occasion myself. Well, Arthur, maybe you can watch the video in front of a mirror next time. Because I'm filming in selfie mode, and that's my prerogative. Yeah. Yeah. What was that? Oh, I know. He's been through the ringer lately, JT Lake. Yeah, with the DUI stuff and all that. But remember on that SNL when he's like the cup of soup guy? He's like, cup of soup, yeah! You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I'm ready to sing it up, man. I'm ready to put some pep in your step. Right? Okay. Look in the mirror and say, hey, man, I'm here to pep you up today. I'm here to hype you up today. Right? You good-looking son of a bitch, you. Okay? It's not so hard, is it? Not so hard, is it? Some of the men are saying, yeah, it is not so hard. That's why we are on the Cialis. Cialis, Viagra, whatever they're called. I mean, have you seen so many dick commercials in your entire freaking life? It's like, woo-wee. Anyway, I hope that's working for y'all. I don't know who you're using it on, because, I don't know. I think I'm going to get rid of my subscription that I have for this online thing, because some of the people seem a little scammy, kind of like some of the folks that show up in these comment sections. Y'all know what that's about. Yeah, exactly. Message held for review. Alrighty then. Anyway, I hope y'all have an enjoyable rest of your day. I don't know when the next message will be, but until next time, remember, collective, to take care of yourself. Right? Consider liking the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, but it does pass those messages around to those who may need them. Okay? So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye-bye.